by welcoming everybody. Thanks for joining us today to this job shadow event organised by Towards Work and SIRO. Delighted to welcome Tamara and Blonid here today with us to deliver the talk and to introduce you all to SIRO, the work that's done there, and some information as well about an upcoming opportunity with them. I'll just introduce myself. I'm Patrick. I'm the manager of the Towards Work program at Open Doors. I'll give a descriptor of myself. I am a white male with brown hair, light beard, and wearing a kind of a cream shirt today. And again, thank you all for coming. I recognize some of the names on the list. So great to see everybody coming back and engaging with Towards Work again. We're delighted to have you. If you haven't been with us before, you're very welcome, and hopefully it won't be the last time that we're linking in with you as well with Towards Work. Just to let you all know, everybody is on mute. The cameras aren't visible throughout the event, so that we can hear from Tamara and Blonid at the end. Hopefully we'll have some time for Q&A. There is a questions box where you can input questions throughout if you want, and our speakers will have the option to respond at the time, or else we'll leave it to the end. At the end as well, there'll also be the option, should be at the bottom of your screen, to raise your hand, at which point we can then unmute you and bring your video online so you can interact with us here and ask any questions that you have. So without further ado, I will pass you over to Tamara and Blonid to say hello and to get the show on the road.
Perfect. Thanks, Patrick. So I suppose just to start out with an introduction to ourselves. So my name is Tamara Swafey. I'm the People Business Partner at SIRO. So I'm a white female with brown hair and blue eyes. I have my hair tied back today and I'm wearing a pink shirt. So just to give you a bit of background on myself, so I am at SIRO for 4 years now. My role as People Business Partner involves looking after recruitment of new staff, onboarding and offboarding staff, as well as other areas like payroll, training, and other career initiatives that we have running as well. So I'll hand over to Blonid to introduce herself now.
I'm Blonid O'Regan. I'm a white female with my when Tamara was introducing herself, I was thinking, oh, my introduction might sound very similar. I'm a white female, my hair is tied back, and I'm wearing a pink top, and I have blue eyes. Yeah, so that's me.
Perfect. Okay, so we are just going to give you a bit of background on SIRO today, what it is that we do, kind of the history, and then talk a bit more about the opportunity that we have for placement with Towards Work. If there is any questions, as Patrick said, feel free to put them in the question box and we'll have an opportunity to answer them at the end as well. So just to start, a bit of background on SIRO. So SIRO lights up Ireland's communication landscape, delivering the most powerful network in the country. And our name, a lot of people wonder where SIRO comes from, and also we've heard kind of every pronunciation of it, but it is SIRO, and it's inspired by Sirius, which is the brightest star visible from any part of the Earth. Sirius is a binary star, so that means it's made up of 2 stars, and that represents ESB and Vodafone, which are the 2 great companies behind SIRO. So this is just a short network film. This was produced back in 2016, just to give you a bit of background on SIRO.
Some moments change everything, and this is one of them.
A groundbreaking new broadband technology is transforming regional Ireland and the way you live and work forever. ESB and Vodafone have come together to bring you SIRO. Powered by light, SIRO's 100% fibre optic broadband delivers speed, reliability, and instant access like never before, nationwide. So what sets SIRO apart? SIRO is different because unlike other networks with copper connections, it is 100% fibre all the way to the building and is delivered using the existing electricity network. It couldn't be simpler. SIRO examines each town's electricity network both overhead and underground and carries out a detailed survey for the area. Working closely with local councils and the community, SIRO is then installed across the town. Because SIRO uses the existing electricity network, there is minimal disruption, and any outages or traffic diversions that may be needed will be planned with the community's needs in mind. Once the installation is complete, it's tested thoroughly to ensure it meets the highest of standards. SIRO is then brought directly into your home or business by your local broadband provider. So why choose SIRO? Today, almost 1/3 of fixed broadband connections in Ireland are less than 10 megabits per second. But SIRO offers speeds of 1,000 megabits per second. That's an incredible 1 gigabit. So, no matter how many tablets, computers, or smart devices you have in your home or business, SIRO is always on, delivering the fastest upload and download speeds in Ireland. SIRO shares the government's national broadband plan ambition to ensure every citizen and business in Ireland has access to high-speed broadband and is investing €450 million. SIRO will reach 500,000 premises in 50 towns by the end of 2018, which is the greatest increase in connectivity since the electrification of Ireland. And because SIRO is an open network, it is available to all broadband providers in the country, meaning you get choice and value. So, ask your local provider about SIRO in your area. Life-changing broadband. That's SIRO, powered by light.
So now we just have a short clip with all the information in relation to our phase 2 of our network expansion, which we announced back in October of 2021. So just looking at what is SIRO's purpose. So it's to build 100% fiber optic telecom network that is future-proof. So our message has been from the outside in. So the what is a fiber to the home network, which is 100% fiber. How are we doing this? So we're utilizing ESB's infrastructure with minimum disruption. And why is to challenge the incumbent and change the telecoms conversation in Ireland. So what is the result? You can see here the speed comparison with the 1 gigabit speeds, which we've now gone beyond, in comparison to the average broadband speeds and the slowest broadband speeds in Ireland. So you can see just how important it is for everyone in Ireland to have access to fast and reliable broadband, especially with now working from home and hybrid working as well. So just a high level overview of fiber optic technology. So what is fiber optics? So it's extremely thin transparent fibers made of glass or plastic that can transmit light throughout their length by internal reflection. So when this is used for communication purposes, large amounts of information can be transmitted on the light through the transparent fibers. So you can see what it looks like there. Several fibers are enclosed in plastic or glass protective tubes and cladding for transport over long distances. So we do as well, when we bring in new starters, like to organise a site visit for them within their first few weeks, just so that they can kind of get a view of what this looks like on the ground. So life at SIRO, we always have kind of regular social and wellbeing events running. For example, you can see here our charity runs, on-site visits, lunch and learns and workshops within the office. And this was a photo from our Christmas party a couple of years ago. So it's more important than ever that we stay connected with hybrid working. And obviously we were working remotely for a long time there during COVID as well. So we kind of had to adapt our wellbeing and social activities to suit that. So we also have run yoga sessions online 2 days a week, and mindfulness as well, and meditation. So yeah, we would encourage all of our new starters to get involved. It's a great way to meet people, especially when we're working hybrid now as well. So in the next week, we're running 2 events actually. So we have an event with Belong To next week to celebrate Pride. And then we also have a beach cleanup that's happening as well in the next week. So I'll hand over to Bláthnaid now just to talk a bit about our DE&I strategy.
So we have been working and continuously working on being an inclusive workplace, and a few years ago we put together our strategy, and we want to create a workplace that is diverse and mirrors the community and colleagues that we serve, and so we have been looking at, we've been on a journey of just trying to make our organization more inclusive and look at opportunities to bring in more inclusivity. So one of the first places we started was looking at our jobs and the language around our brand and how diverse we present ourselves, and then we looked at our candidate recruitment, and actually this is areas where people like Open Doors have really helped us. We also looked at how we could generate more diverse candidate pools. So we started, we've had some really great programs, apprenticeships and internships, and we've worked with a lot of programs with Open Doors, but we also work with Women Reboot that bring women that might want to re-enter the workplace having taken time out, and we also do apprentices for school leavers that are getting started. One of the things, so Tamara's mentioned hybrid a few times, but one of the things that's been really important, has always been really important to us, has been our flexibility, because we see it as something that we've been able to accommodate people, maybe before it's become more the standard. So we see that our workplace flexibility is part of our DEI strategy, and it supports people to adapt their working life to fit in with their needs. We've also looked at trying to, we've got 22 nationalities, so we want to make sure people feel included, and we've learned a lot. I guess the one thing with all of these things is it's a work in progress. You're always looking to improve. We're always finding things that we could have done better. So we endeavour to celebrate over the course of the year events that, so be it maybe national holidays or religious holidays and things that are important to people, and then on the other side we've also carried out training for all our employees, and people very willingly participated in training to learn more about unconscious bias, and to help, I suppose, in all their interactions. And just this year we did more training on allyship, and I guess we continue to try and build on these programs. STEM is important to us, so so I suppose just because we're a technology company, and what the videos were showing was very much the external build, whereas internally there's a whole organization that is more desk-based and computer-based, that are doing things like provisioning the connections to customer service, ourselves in HR, finance, IT, and all of the technology that goes on in the background. So STEM is science, or I'm looking at the T, engineering and maths. The T might come back to me in a minute, and it's known that it doesn't, not enough is done to attract women into this space, and I suppose that's something that we've worked on, that we work with transition year students, and we've worked with junior achievement, and again it's just to create accessibility for people. We have and are working currently on diversity targets, and we have been reporting internally how we do every year. I guess this year I'm thinking we need to start maybe making it a little bit more. We do put some things into our sustainability report, but I suppose I'm thinking transparency might be something that we need to do a bit more of in the coming year. And we've also just recently completed a whole lot of work around our HR processes and just looking at them from a fairness point of view, and just again trying to consider all the different areas where you take for granted, that somebody like me can take for granted, that's something might be very hard, like for example, somebody we've just hired recently just raised to our disability awareness passport, which I'll talk to next, just raised with us that she has a medical issue that affects her at some times, and has asked if she could work remotely when this thing arises. And so our processes, and we're still learning, our processes are helping us to both help people speak up, and then we're still kind of reflecting, wow, it's still very hard to maybe speak up, so we're learning as we go. And then development, and I think this is the one area that maybe we've done more work than we've been talking about, and we've got good systems, and I suppose we're trying to, oh sorry, I see things going on, so there's questions, so I'll just take them in a second. So we've been trying to, I suppose development has been important for all employees, so trying to create opportunities for people to advance at every level of the organization. So I think Bukai, is it okay it's okay for me to take a question? Patrick's our overall facilitator, but I presume I'm okay to take, yeah.
If you're happy to belong, yeah, 1 second now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for the brilliant presentations, and thank you for having me on this platform. I'm very much grateful. And then there are a whole lot of educative material regarding the job market being shared on this identical platform, which I'm grateful for. My question has to do with, I observe that you also work with people from all backgrounds. That includes people with disabilities as well. So I'm a person with disabilities, and then I have tried applying in Ireland for a role since January. And when I had my work permit, and currently I have the GNIB, but still it's still difficult. So my question is that what strategies are you putting in place to enhance people with disability with no skill to get an employment in Ireland?
So that's for us, that is difficult. So one of the areas we have worked with is for the apprentices. So that's for school leavers. So we have some people that will have they're studying with, so there's a generation apprenticeship, it's called, and it's focused on, I suppose, unskilled people as such. I think the various programs, there is a minimum education standard. So when we work with them, we allow people to continue their education while they're learning for another, I think it's 2 years, is it, Tamara? Yeah. Most of the programs. So we've done some programs with finance and with it's telecommunications engineering. So so there are programs, but our opportunity for people with no skill without some training is minimal, or probably we don't have that kind of opportunity.
All right, thank you. Because my questions is driving towards because like for me, in all of my experiences I've had, it is in administration, and back home I have worked with people with disability like almost all my life. The only time I did not work with people with disabilities is when I was part of a youth-led program that was being implemented by the government. Yes, and that was a mixed people, people with disabilities and non-people with disabilities. But besides all of the organizations I work with, many of them were people with disabilities.
Okay.
I'm not talking about like other company, but the Group of 77 Disabled Center, National Union of Organization of the Disabled, Carter Center, and all of those entities have something to do with people with disabilities. And, and then I've shared my CV, and we have talked some other stuff, but there is still difficulty in getting a role. Sometimes I attend some interview, and for certain role that I believe I can perform, and they say, oh, because of this, and the role is this, and it requires some physical activities, you cannot perform the job, and we cannot give you the role. So that is why I'm just asking. So probably, I don't know what the reason is. I don't know, and yes.
Thanks, Boga. Listen, I think we've a little more of the presentation to go through, which I know Blonde and Tamara are going to give us some more information around different things that happen within the company. So maybe what we'll do, and I know there's a few questions are coming in through the Q&A there, which are which again we can either type responses to, or maybe we'll take at the end, because I think a lot of the questions that are going to come in and the information that people are going to wonder, we're going to address actually through the presentation. And if there's anything not, then I'll be able to follow up with you towards the end of it as well. But thanks a million, Boke, for that question, and we'll jump back to you, Brenda. Then
we can carry on. So if you move on to the next page, Tamara, I can just speak. So I mentioned already our reasonable accommodation policy and password, and Christabel's actually going to do so Open Doors are doing some further work with us next month on this, and we have supports in place, and we have provided supports in the past for flexible working hours, specific IT software, and specific equipment as required. So we have I suppose some examples of having worked with it. We also have an employee resource group. We have one. We've been encouraging more, but our total employee base is 150, so it can be hard to for people to maybe sometimes find a group, but we're hoping that we'll have another one or two in the coming year. So we've Women and Allies at SIRO, and we've been doing work with that group, and we've been trying to share the learnings and the learning opportunities with everybody. So it's not just about women. I mentioned already we've done unconscious bias and disability awareness training, and we're doing a refresh on disability awareness next month. We also partner, in addition to Open Doors, we partner with Belong To, and we support LGBTQI plus young people in Ireland. So that's
no, I think it's worth noting as well, just on the reasonable accommodation policy and passport. So that's completed by all employees when they start as part of their onboarding pack. So it gives them an opportunity at the very beginning to disclose if they are comfortable, and let us know how we can kind of help to accommodate whatever disability they may have. And that's agreed, and accommodations are agreed with their line manager as well. And then that means that they have this going forward, and they don't need to kind of it could be updated regularly, but they don't need to, I suppose, communicate that again should they kind of move within the organization or anything like that. We also do have questions within our engagement survey that goes out biannually, just around disabilities as well, for people to have another opportunity to disclose and ask for any other reasonable accommodations that they may need. And obviously we do keep kind of a regular open communication on it, so that people can approach any member of HR as well and let us know if there's anything that we can do to help them as well. So then just including some testimonials from previous placement participants that we've had with us. So we've done programs with Walk to have people on work placements with us. So just some of the testimonials you can see here. So they've said that it's a great learning experience as their first paid job. They learned kind of how to get along with people in work, and I suppose a bit more about being in the workplace, and also just another aspect in terms of traveling and getting to work by the Lewis or bus. And that's something that we mentioned in our reasonable accommodations as well, around flexible hours, in terms of if someone finds a certain, I suppose, rush hour time difficult when commuting. That's something that we've looked at in the past, so that they can kind of make their way to work at a time that's less busy on public transport. Another testimonial there, just that they were introduced to many different systems and they were happy to learn different data entry methods, that their manager was helpful in getting them set up on the systems and showing them how to use them, and also keeping regular communication with them as well. So another testimonial there at the bottom. So obviously just around their experience working with SIRO and what they've gained in terms of experience and knowledge that will serve them in their career going forward. So just in terms of the work placement that is available, the opportunity with Towards Work. So it's an IT internship placement that we're currently advertising for. So it's a paid placement opportunity for 8 weeks, and it's starting from the end of August. We'll get specific dates confirmed and we can pass that information on, but that is the timeline that we are looking at. So we're looking for a student or a graduate in IT or technology qualifications to work within our business applications team. And we have shared across a job description, which hopefully you've been able to access at this point. So CVs can be sent to info@towardswork.ie. If you are interested in applying, please do send your CV in, and if there is any within the job description as well, we do state that if there's any accommodations that you require at any stage, obviously in the recruitment process, please do let us know. And then the closing date for this is Monday, the 3rd of July to get your application in. So just in terms of the interview, so there'll be a maximum of 2 interview stages, and the interviews are generally competency based, but we're also happy, as I say, to make any accommodations depending on the specific candidate's needs as well in terms of interviews. So this is just a quick video to give you an overview of the office that we currently have in Carrickmines. We are actually looking at getting our office refit in the next 2 weeks, so there will be some changes made, but it's we're looking at kind of making it more quiet spaces within the office, more meeting spaces, things like that. And we thought that this would be useful just for you to see, as this role would be an office-based role. So I will just click this. So that just shows you an overview of the office. It is just 1 floor open plan office. We do have meeting rooms, and we're looking, as I say, at getting kind of more meeting rooms, smaller meeting rooms, quiet spaces for people to be able to work quietly, as well as collaboration spaces and a training space as well. So we'll definitely keep updated on that in terms of throughout the interview process, I suppose. Just with the changes within the office. So just a short clip to finish off. No, so thank you so much to everyone for listening. And if there is any questions at this stage, we can run through them now, I think. Or Patrick, if there's anything else.
Yeah, there's a few on the system, so I can work through them if you like, Patrick. Just
work with
and
on.
then we can
And if anybody, if anyone wants to raise their hands, then in the meantime, I'll keep an eye on that as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so the first question was, how many disabled people do we have at the moment, and do we have them in managerial roles? So we do survey people, but it's a voluntary it's voluntary for them to share that information with us. So in the past, we have, I think, had about 15% of our people have shared that they have some form of disability. And then just off the top of my head, just some of the people, like I do know we have 2 people in managerial roles that have disability. I guess it's such a broad space. You know, one person is neurodiverse and the other has a hearing disability, so probably maybe visibly it's less visible as a disability. And then Cahill has had two questions, and I think Cahill, we'd be very happy to talk to you. You know, we could explore whether there was something, and maybe there was a chance to look at some work experience. So we can have a look at that in this process, and I can talk to Patrick a bit more about that. So
Thanks, Maud.
Yeah.
Buck, I have your hand up again. I'm just going to let you talk there.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes. Patrick, before I start to talk, I'm Hilof Robert Mark.
Oh, Hilof, sorry.
Yeah, so I signed up for this meeting, but unfortunately I didn't get you know, the link. So that's why I'm using Bwaka's link.
Oh, no problem.
Bwaka's name appearing. Yeah.
Okay, apologies for that.
So yeah,
go ahead,
the previous meeting I also signed up for it, but I didn't attend because I don't know what's going on, you know.
There's some issue there.
But I think I'll call you after here and we can see how best.
Maybe, I mean,
with you about that,
I'm only just talking about my own personal experience. Maybe it went into your junk mail or
yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was just, as I say, I'm only talking about things I miss out on. Sometimes it's because I think it ends up being because of my computer settings, and you might need to save the address as your as a known contact.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. So my name is Hilof Robert Mark, and I originally hail from Liberia, and I'm a person with disability. I suffer from polio in my leg. Yes, I'm a data entry clerk, and I heard you talking about the, you know, your institutions and your internship programs and mentorship and all of that. Bwaka asked some questions where if the person doesn't have any experience in any areas, if you can accept that person. But looking at my own area data entry, and I work more for an elections observation network where people doing elections, people send data in, and then you have to peruse them, clean it up, and then analyze it and send it for reporting. I just want to ask if you have similar roles, because I've also worked as an administrator in Liberia, and if you have similar role, or if I can also form part of the internship program as well, and moving forward.
So just I think what you're asking is you've got data entry experience, and you're asking if there's a role that might suit that experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know, and I think it's in our organization we have a lot of things automated, so we end up not needing data entry. So I'm not sure if that's something that we could accommodate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think, and I mean, I guess Patrick would speak to the process more. I don't want to waste people's time, but I usually encourage people to apply anyway, and you know, we can see if there's something that could be a match. But I guess I'll defer to Patrick as to, you might have different advice.
Thanks, Vlad. Well, look, generally going to say, hey, love, look, I think generally good advice is always to, if you think you have some experience or you have some knowledge or you have some skills that may be applicable to a role, it's always worth putting your name into the hat. The team that look at your CVs, that screen it out, that screen the CVs will obviously make the decision then on whether they think so too. In this situation, I suppose I can only encourage you to look at, because you know your experience, so to look at that to see if it lines up with the skills and the competencies within the job description, and put your name forward. It may be that the skills don't line up, but at the same time, I think it would be good to put your name forward, and not necessarily with regards to SIRO, but with other companies, or even just for ourselves at open doors that towards work that we have, you know, another record of you looking for roles, and we'll be able to, you know, line it up maybe to other opportunities that come up in the future.
All right, thank you.
So,
look,
Kai, yeah.
I have another question there from Oyebola.
Hi. Hello.
Hi there, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I'm good. My name is Oyebola. I am a business administrator graduate. But then I've worked in the bank. I have worked as a front row receptionist, both in Nigeria and here. And then I also worked in taxation. I was the revenue supervisor back home. But then obviously relocation made me leave the job, and I'm here now. And then since I got here, I have done, I've worked with GMC as a front desk receptionist. And then just recently, like this, there's a refugee access program that EY organized or that you do every year. It's a yearly thing. And that's Ernst & Young. And then I got on, lucky me, I got on. So I've done that, what we've done with the first stage. So now this is the second stage, which is the summer internship program in VAT. So I work now. I'm with them now for this summer in VAT. But I think I'll still, if you have any role in administration or in places like that, yeah, that's just basically the summary of what I can just say to you right now.
Thanks, Oyebola.
Thank you.
It's good to know. I know it's good to get that information, and I suppose for yourselves, Blonde and Tamara, to know that, you know, getting that information and knowing that these are the roles, these are the skills that are out there, particularly through the Towards Work network, and maybe if they're not maybe perfectly aligned for this specific role or opportunity, that if in the future maybe we were looking at developing another one, that maybe we could look at exploring those areas, because that seems to be where a lot of the expertise and a lot of the skills and qualifications are coming from.
Yeah, because when we talked about doing this opportunity, we kind of looked at within our own organization and who are the managers that could support these programs. But absolutely, you're right, Patrick. Having the knowledge helps us think about, well, what do we look at in the future, and who might be suitable to support somebody in the future.
Absolutely. Okay, thanks for your question, Oyebola. Okay, is there any other questions from anybody? Anything to ask at this point, either in the chat or if anybody would like to raise their hands?
Yeah, there's another question, sir.
Okay, another question's come in.
Yeah, so somebody, I mean, I think, sorry, I'm just moving my camera and my large amounts of hard digital studying online IT data. Yes, I think we would consider that. I mean, I think I would imagine that, like, I suppose in the ideal world, what we'd like to do is think that we can bring somebody, you know, give somebody a greater chance of getting a full-time role, but absolutely we would consider somebody from any background. So, and I'd say go ahead and apply. Our IT manager has had a very, she was telling us one day at some session we did, actually the unconscious bias session, about all the different jobs she's had in her career, and it was actually very inspiring because I think she started off as a graphic designer and just ended up just moved to lots of different things. So yeah, we are open.
Okay. And another question just came in there, but do you have an administrative or receptionist role? I suppose everyone, just to be clear, for today, the purpose is really to talk about SIRO and the work generally the organization does, and then specifically about this this one job placement opportunity.
Yeah.
I would encourage anyone who may be looking for other roles or other sector roles, if it is within SIRO or other companies, to take a look at the Open Doors website,
yeah,
and our members page, where you'll see a list. So if you are looking for an administrative role, if it is a tech role, if it might be a marketing and sales role, that they'll be available there. For the purpose of today, it's specifically this IT intern role that we'll be exploring. So, and again, if there's any questions in relation to either, feel free to reach out and to ask about that.
Miss Lane.
Just a message from Ikra there saying to appreciates the webinar, and thank you very much, or thank you a lot. Thank you, Ikra.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. And actually, I've just the link here for the jobs board within the Open Doors, which I'm just going to copy here. So into the
because we've participated in the past with an Open Doors jobs fair, and when we were running a jobs program. So I think there was a lot of opportunities that day being recruited for.
Definitely, and there will be more. Over the next coming weeks and months, we will be sharing more opportunities and more job shadow and job placement events as well. So this is the first of hopefully many opportunities that will be bringing forward to you all.
Great.
And we have Miss Lane. Hi, can we hear you? We can't, Ms. Lane. We only have you on. Oh, your hand is up there. Just give me 1 second. I'll just allow you to talk. Okay, you're muted, but you can go ahead there and ask your question.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi there.
Hi. Oh, my apologies. I'm late. I was in a meeting. Unfortunately, I got here late. I I'm sure I miss a lot. So I'm so excited about this meeting because I was looking for this kind of opportunity for at least 2 years. I have been applied for 700 of these opportunities. I have 2 degrees, and one in Ireland is in IT field. So I didn't have an internship back there. So I was applying for apprenticeship, internship, and even I offer my skills for free. I couldn't have a job in IT area. So that's something I do not understand because there are lots of opportunity in LinkedIn and all around their websites and in online. And when they come with the interview, they are looking for someone who has read experience. No, makes sense. And I so proud of you people doing this kind of opportunity for people like me. And I hope really I never give up from my main and my objective here is to work in IT because I love technology, I love IT, and I do love help people, and I feel like I can contribute to do my best on the world. So I'm a little lost here. I hope you guys can give me a link later for me research more about you and understand better. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank
No
you.
problem at all. So we do have today's session recorded,
Yeah.
so we'll be able to send that out to you afterwards, and you'll get all the information again then.
Thank you.
Okay. I see Oyebola, your hand is up again. Were you looking to ask another question, or?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Yes, please. So I just wanted to ask, I'm sorry because the mail I got, I don't know, or maybe I'm just mistaken. I just wanted to ask out, what roles do you have open for now, please?
So at the moment, we're just looking at an IT internship placement within our business applications team.
Can you say that again, please? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem at all. So it's just an IT internship placement. So it's within our business applications team. So we're looking for a IT or technology graduate or student.
Okay. All right, then. Thank you very much.
No worries at all.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, Patrick, if the job description has been shared with.
It hasn't directly been sent out to everybody yet, but we'll be sending out the job
Perfect.
description this evening. Everyone with the
That would be great. Yeah.
If we have the video link, then we'll send it out together. But you'll receive the job description today, and it will be available as well on our website as well. Perfect. Okay, if there's any last questions, if there's any more questions or anyone else would like to ask something. No. Okay. Well, look, if for now, we might leave it there. If there are any more questions or anything that comes to mind to anybody, feel free to reach out to us. If you want to email info@towardswork.ie, or some of you may have my email, patrick@opendoorsinitiative.ie. Feel free to contact either mail, and if there's any questions, hopefully I'll be able to address them for you, or if not, I can pass you on to Tamara and Blonded to be able to answer them for you. Hopefully everyone, you've enjoyed the session. You found it informative and insightful about the work of SIRO, and also in particular the internship opportunity that's that's going to be there. I want to thank you all for being here and giving us your time today. And Tamara, Blonid, thank you for your time, for giving us the presentation, and especially to you and your colleagues for providing this opportunity for the work placement with you guys over the next few weeks and months. Really excited to see it come to fruition and see it come through, and hopefully maybe somebody on this call, maybe somebody else who applies in the meantime, but we look forward to working with them and working with you throughout the process. So thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Thanks,
so much,
Patrick.
everyone.
Okay.